செஞ்சிருப்பேன் தானே. மஞ்சள், வெங்காயம், மிளகு, சில்லறை போன்ற சுத்தமான மசாலா பொருட்களோடு சிறந்த சிக்கன் சுவையுடன் கூடிய நோ கியூப்ஸ் தான் அவங்களோட சீக்ரெட். இந்த சீக்ரெட் உங்க பருப்பு கறி கழித்திடும் சிக்கன் சர்ப்ரைஸ். சர்ப்ரைஸ்! நோ கியூப்ஸ் உங்கள் தினசரி பருப்பு கறி கழித்திடும் சிக்கன் சர்ப்ரைஸ்.
Some women feel that while shampoos moisturize, it doesn't give flat hair a thicker look. New Dove Oxygen Moisture is different. Its oxygen-fused conditioning nourishes your hair and gives you hair that is smoother and looks 95% thicker. Breathe life into dry, flat hair. New Dove Oxygen Moisture.
Good use of the feet, good timing and placement from the South African captain.
He's enjoying the bowling and the conditions out there. Didn't take him long at all to get used to English conditions. He picks like this, it's terrific batting. Even Welsh conditions. Sorry about that, folks.
It's fine, Slats. Australia's a long way away. Jet lag.
My mother was from Wales. Cardigan. I feel at home.
Round on. Has he got enough, Duplessis? Yes, he does. The timing is good again. And he's putting on a show, Duplessis. 87 from 66.
Everything is being creased out of the middle at the moment. It's good batting. It's really exciting to watch. I don't think he's going to stop either. He's 87 from 66. Strike rate 131. And dangerous for the kids. Almost like it was on fire, that ball. They didn't want to pick it up.
Yeah, this is the phase where South Africa, keep going on about it, but where de Villiers was so pivotal, being able to walk in and change games through the middle period. I just feel that Amla, this is the phase of the game that worries me from his perspective. He's good in the first 10 and the strike rate just falls away, and I feel that you need to be dynamic in this middle period, as Duplessis showing, as other teams have shown. England are showing, that's why they're favourites. Something for Amla to think about tactically, not just to get into that one mode of just ticking the scoreboard over.
Yes. I bowled him, and so a reward. Spin bowling doing some damage finally. And it was a very, very good delivery there from Mendes. You talk about concern for Amla. He's feeling it right now.
Yeah, an excellent googly. Score, keep up the momentum, but runs nonetheless. It's Amla gone.
உங்களால வெற்றி கொள்ள நீங்க தினமும் தூசோடும் மாசோடும் வேலை பார்க்க வேண்டியிருக்கு. அதனால அது உங்க கூந்தலை பாதிக்குது. ஆனா அதற்காக உங்க தன்னம்பிக்கையை இழக்காதீங்க. உங்க கூந்தலுக்கு புத்துயிரும் ஊட்டமும் அளிக்கும் புதிய சன்சில்க் நேச்சுரல் ரீசார்ஜ். டீடாக்ஸிங் கிரீன் டீ மற்றும் புத்துணர்வு அளிக்கும் லெமன் சாறு அடங்கிய புதிய சன்சில்க் நேச்சுரல் டீடாக்ஸ். நாள் முழுவதும் கூந்தலுக்கு புத்துணர்வும் புதுப்பொலிவும். ஓ, டார்க் ஸ்பாட்ஸ்.
எனக்கும் டார்க் ஸ்பாட்ஸ் இருந்தது. என்றாலும் நான் சொல்யூஷன் ஒன்றை தேடிக்கொண்டேன்.
அதிக செலவு ஏற்பட்டதா?
இல்ல, நான் பாவிக்கிறது பாண்ட்ஸ் ஒயிட் பியூட்டி கிரீம். அது இப்போ ஸ்பெஷல் பிரைஸ்க்கு கிடைக்குதே.
பாண்ட்ஸ் ஒயிட் பியூட்டி இப்போது ரூபாய் 230 ஸ்பெஷல் பிரைஸில்.
1000 பிரெஞ்ச் ரோஜா மலர்களின் அற்புத நறுமணத்தை ஒவ்வொரு ஃப்ளோரல் பியூட்டி ஆயில் துளியிலும் கொண்டிருக்கும் புதிய லாக்ஸ். இப்பொழுது உங்களுக்கு மலரிதழினும் மென்மையான சருமத்தை தரும் புதிய லாக்ஸ்.
மென்மையான சருமத்தை பெற்றுத் தருவதற்கு தேசிய மற்றும் சர்வதேச தரத்திற்கேற்ப லாக்ஸ் உருவாக்கப்படுகின்றது.
ஞாபகம் இருக்கிறதா? ஹார்பிக் பாத்ரூம் கிளீனர். இதில் உள்ள ஃபார்முலா உங்கள் குளியலறையை பளிச்சிடச் செய்யும். இப்போது ஃப்ளோரல் மற்றும் லெமன் நறுமணத்துடன்.
That's not a bad start to a career.
Yeah, the average of 88. They want to increase that strike rate. Did play on a couple of tough surfaces back in South Africa and held things together. Yeah, from a mental perspective and reading of the game, he's had an excellent start to his international career, his first World Cup. Batting in a very pivotal position, number 4 for South Africa.
Mendes, who was going the journey, gets that wicket. And a little bit of a fall at the end of the 24th.
உங்களோட பாட்டி தான் என்னோட கூந்தல வலிமையாக்கும் ஆயுர்வேத தீர்வு கொடுத்தாங்க.
அப்ப எனக்கு ஆயுர்வேதம் இல்லையா?
இல்ல, புதிய லைஃப் பாய் ஆயுர்வேத ஷாம்பு சீயக்காய், பூண்டிக்கொட்டை, நெல்லி, கரிசலாங்கண்ணி, திரிபுலா போன்ற ஆயுர்வேத உட்பொருட்களின் சக்தியுடன்.
அம்மா, என்னோட கூந்தலும் அம்மாவோடது போல.
இப்போ மகளுக்கும் அழகான கூந்தல். புதிய லைஃப் பாய் ஆயுர்வேத கேர் பஞ்சமூலிகை ஷாம்பு.
ஓ, டார்க் ஸ்பாட்ஸ்.
எனக்கும் டார்க் ஸ்பாட்ஸ் இருந்தது. என்றாலும் நான் சொல்யூஷன் ஒன்றை தேடிக்கொண்டேன்.
அதிக செலவு ஏற்பட்டதா?
இல்ல, நான் பாவிக்கிறது பாண்ட்ஸ் ஒயிட் பியூட்டி கிரீம். அது இப்போ ஸ்பெஷல் பிரைஸ்க்கு கிடைக்குதே.
பாண்ட்ஸ் ஒயிட் பியூட்டி இப்போது ரூபாய் 230 ஸ்பெஷல் பிரைஸில்.
Du Plessis really try and expose that offside and the fact that there's no one back there. He's very much concentrating on it, jumping outside or to the onside to try and release the hands. There he goes high. He hasn't got hold of it. There's two men converging and taken in the end. Long on in the end. Bailed out and he did the right thing.
Yeah, Du Plessis, very positive of late, looking to take the game on. For a moment there, I thought there was going to be a huge collision. And Luckmal kept his composure. And in the end, took a good catch.
Yeah, just got the up and under going and, oh, so close. Not sure there was any calling going on. It was only that he saw the man long off in the end. So 88, terrific innings, 175 for 3. Oh, good to see a little bit of laughter. They've got a bit of reward going here with the spin bowling. It was getting carved up there for a while, but we've got 2 wickets very quickly, and they can slow things down with 2 fresh batsmen.
This is on that. Pick the googly. Good.
கொண்டு போக முடியாது. அதனால ஆட்கள் மட்டும் தான் போகலாம். நல்ல பிள்ளை அதுதான் இங்க மறைச்சு பார்த்தோம். இருக்கு வந்து எக்கலாம் தானே.
At the completion of a decade free of terror, we shall not let a once buried terror bury your love again, protecting the nation. The Sri Lanka Army.
He had a disappointing IPL, so the T20 recently didn't work for him, but he's got some time. He's got plenty of time to find some form and touch.
He had a very good 2015 World Cup batting at number 5, David Miller. I think he's going to be an important cog for the South Africans throughout this year's tournament. He does have a good World Cup, has the power to change games. Lots of overs left to get some form and timing for him and Van der Dussen.
Yeah, I like him as a player. He's definitely a strong striker, isn't he, Miller? Plenty of overs remaining. Oh! Good work by the keeper. Playing for spin, and there was none.
Isn't it amazing, Slats? 2 wickets and suddenly what looks like a very good batting surface turns into a minefield. Pressure, batsman on naught. The value of wickets through this tournament, I think it's just, we've seen it right now. Ability to pick up wickets through the middle period and how that allows you to control the game. Have they gone upstairs here, Slats? I think we're having a review.
Oh, good work by the keeper. It was very quick indeed. So, Van der Dussen, he was playing for spin, as you often do, but it's not really gripping too much. They're playing inside the line, and that allowed the keeper to do his work. Chris Gaffney is the one we're after. A slide. He's got to get back. And does. That's a good stretch, isn't it? Good yoga move. Like you, Smithy, every morning.
Still can't quite get into that position, Slats.
I'm sure you could. So he's off the mark. 25 overs remaining. 176 for 3.
யாராவது உங்களிடம் தொடர்ச்சியாக போய் கூறினால் என்ன செய்வீர்கள்? விலகி விடுவீர்கள் தானே? மீண்டும் கொடுக்க வராதென கூறும் சில ஷாம்பு பற்றி நீங்கள் என்ன கூற போகின்றீர்கள்? போதும். இறுதியில் நான் முழுமையாக நம்பக்கூடிய ஷாம்பு ஒன்றினை கண்டுகொண்டேன்.
Clear Complete Soft Care Nutrimol Complex உடன் Zero Dandruff Non-Stop.
பொடுகு விடயத்தில் நான் நம்புவது கிளியரினை மட்டுமே.
Clear.
Good look across the ground here. And in Cardiff was Sophia Gardens. Now they call it Cardiff Wales Stadium. Tremendous now, 1 for 28. This is his 4th over. Good fielding off his own bowling. A little bit more of a skip in the step for the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, fielding off your own bowling, such a key component. Does well, Mendes, and drags that one down, and it allows the pressure to be released off Van der Dussen.
That's been the problem with the bowling. There just hasn't been enough deliveries in the right areas consistently enough. So there's been good stroke play at top order. You weather a little bit of a storm with good deliveries, and then you get something you can put away. The 2018 was a rough year for Sri Lanka. 26 matches played, and only won 7 of those, so percentage winning rate of 28. And that's the lowest out of all the teams participating.
Yeah, we heard Kumar saying that Sri Lankan cricket find themselves very much in a rebuilding phase. New captains, a new captain rather. Combinations they're trying to find. I'll be hoping to surprise a few teams throughout this World Cup. Definitely not on the favourite list.
Yeah, they've always been that side, haven't they? They'll upset. I reckon Afghanistan will upset a few sides as well. The talent that comes from that part of the world these days. But interesting, the rebuild. There's still a lot of elder gents playing in the Sri Lankan side. That's a good delivery. It's 180 for 3. So Anderdusen just sort of showing how to, he wants to get it down the ground, but he's hitting so straight, it's getting back to the bowler. Isn't it, Smithy? He comes out of a disappointing IPL where he was going to be dropped one game, and then Enriquez rolled an ankle. He then came back in for that particular game. He gets a 40, then he stays in the side, and then missed out towards the end. You can reset, though. It's a different form of the game, and he's back playing for his country, and it's amazing. You shift from one format to another, or a series to another series, and you can reset.
Yeah, and he's very much a momentum type player, David Miller. If he does get some form
series,
going, some confidence, he can, you really build on that and get something going. When you bat in the middle order, you walk in under pressure a lot of times, needing to get the game progressing. I like that number 5 position for him. I think it's a very pivotal position. Someone like him can be the difference between 50, 60 runs if he gets going.
Yeah, and the sides that are going to do well have those real strong power hitters. You need them in these middle overs. Off the mark.
Sean Pollock in the background makes a good point. David Miller, the backup wicketkeeper for South Africa, I think couldn't quite find a spot for a backup keeper. There was no one really pushing for places, but in the 15, South Africa didn't have space for one. So David Miller, I think, will step him if anything happens to the cock. We might even see him behind the stumps at times today.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. The use of the 15, the fielding purposes, is good warm-up. So long as everyone gets something out of it, and that's why they're doing it. So it just gives some good rotation of certain fielders. You can rest someone like de Kock, give Miller a go. You feel like you've all participated. The selectors have a better idea. Yeah, it's a nice solid shot there. Things slowing down for South Africa. You had Amla, in particular du Plessis, that were really putting his foot down. So pulling back the run chase at the moment, Sri Lanka.
South Africa's run rate's good, so just these two can afford to take a couple of deliveries to get themselves in, try and form another partnership. No pressure really to get the run rate going. Current is 6.7-ish, and you see the last 5 falling away with the 2 wickets falling pretty close together. Du Plessis looked excellent today. Read the game well, was positive.
He struck that well, but straight to the field. It's 182 for 3.
பெண்ணின் நாட்பொழுது வேலைகள் நிறைந்தது. நாளின் முடிவில் அவளது மனம் கேட்பது களைப்பை போக்கும் இதமான தருணம் ஒன்று. என்னுடைய லாக்ஸ் பாடி வாஷ் முழு நாள் எனதும் களைப்பை போக்கிடும் 3 படிமுறைகளில். லூஃபாவில் சிறு துளிகள், மேனிக்கு இதமளிக்கும் நுரை குவியல், களைப்பை போக்கும் புத்துணர்வு ஒன்று. நறுமணம் மிக்க மென்மையான சருமத்திற்கு லாக்ஸ் பாடி வாஷ் இப்பொழுது 150 ரூபாய் மட்டுமே.
முட்டை முட்டை ஜாமுன், முட்டையின் துர்நாற்றம் வீசும் பாத்திரத்தில் குலாப் ஜாமுன் சாப்பிட்டால் முட்டை ஜாமுன் தான் சாப்பிடணும். விடாப்பிடி துர்நாற்றங்களை அகற்றிட நீங்களும் புதிய விம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஆன்டி ஸ்மெல்லை பயன்படுத்திடுங்கள்.
Bit of time at the crease. Get themselves ready for the big occasion. Did I say they want to spend some time at the crease? Maybe they want to just be nice and aggressive.
A lot of good things about this young player. He again proves what he's capable of. Seems very confident. Straight in and straight out. Very well played. The boundaries straight are very short. That's exactly where you want to hit them. If you're looking for boundaries, very safe. Ball carries a long way here as well.
You describe him as young and in international standards he is. He's been around for quite some time in domestic cricket in South Africa and has matured wonderfully well. Plays for the Lions and often gets them over the line, plays that solid innings in the middle order. And has been a real find for South Africa. Every time he's been asked to take on a particular role in the one-day international format, sometimes looking to be the aggressor, sometimes looking just to bat and get the side over the line. He's been equal to all the tasks he's been asked to perform. David Miller on the other side has struggled. He would love to spend some time in the middle today. Didn't really have the best of RPLs. But as a man has a wonderful ability to strike the ball clean. There's the field, how it changes once the left-hander and right-hander come on strike. The man at the short third man goes across. The short third man for the left-hander. No one behind square. Another wonderful shot by Van der Dussen. He's hitting the ball beautifully straight. The last one was airborne, went all the way. This one along the ground.
That's what happens on wickets with not a lot of turn. You need to be able to protect one side of the wicket. But every time you're in line with the stumps, you give more and more options to the batsman. It's actually worth it dragging him slightly wider off stump, maybe ball into the legs and try and minimize damage.
Yeah, Sri Lanka will be hoping that the tournament ends up being a dry tournament, so that the spinners come into play and the surfaces offer some assistance for the spinners. Wow, that's the round arm, Malegi, is it? I haven't seen that one before.
அடுத்த வருஷமும் இதே இடத்துல இதே ட்ரெஸ்ல போட்டோ எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஓகே அம்மா? அப்பவும் நான் இது போல இளமையா தான் இருப்பேன். ஆனா இந்த ட்ரெஸ்ஸோட ஆயில் பத்தினா எனக்கு ஷுவர் இல்ல. டோன்ட் வரி அம்மா. ஆயுள் நிறைந்த ஆடைகளுக்கு சன்லைட் கேர் லிக்விட் இருக்கே. ஆஹா, அப்படி இல்லம்மா. முதல்ல லிக்விட், இரண்டாவது தண்ணீர், மூன்றாவது மிக்ஸ்.
இது ஆடைகளின் பொலிவினையும் மனம் கவர் தன்மையையும் நீடித்திருக்க செய்திடும். ஆயுள் நிறைந்த ஆடைகளுக்கு சன்லைட் கேர் வாஷிங் லிக்விட். முடிவற்ற பயணங்களில் எங்கள் அருகிலேயே எஸ்ட்ரா எங்கேயும் எதனுடனும்.
Figures, not a pretty sight for Jeffrey Van der Say. Van der Say 2 overs for 30. Jeevan Mendes struggling a little bit as well, but you expect that of your spinners. You want your fast bowlers to do the bulk of the work up top with 2 new balls. They haven't been able to get the breakthrough in South Africa. Well set.
So the top scorer for South Africa was Faf du Plessis with 88. We've got Mark Ramprakash who's joined us, going to give us an idea into his bat path. But a different technique has Faf. He gets the bat to come from a bit of a peculiar area, but presents it straight most of the time. And after this next delivery, we'll just have a look at what we've seen from him today. Struck it well, 88 of his 69 deliveries. Okay, Rems, what you got for us?
Well, Faf du Plessis is one of the best batsmen in the world, but even he has his preferences of where he wants to hit the ball. And in this particular shot, we can see his bat path, and he's trying to hit the ball there through extra cover, but you can see the bat face closes. here's another example. The bat goes up, lifts, he lifts the bat up with good intent, and he's trying to hit the ball through extra cover, and the bat closes. This wagon wheel suggests that he's not too successful hitting the ball through extra cover.
Yeah, the knock-on allows Miller to get through for a comfortable single.
So, as we can see, the wagon wheel suggests that he favours the leg side, and through extra cover, he's not that fluent, and that is to do with his grip. He's got a very strong bottom hand, and he favours the leg side. So on the screen on the left, we can see that he's trying to turn that bat face at impact to get the ball onto the leg side, and on the right-hand side, as he tries to extend through the ball, the bat face closes, and it doesn't make good connection through the hitting zone. So even someone as good as Faf du Plessis, he has his strengths and perhaps his areas where he would like to improve.
Yeah, very good. Gives us an idea. One of the better players on offer, and particularly for South Africa in this World Cup. He's going to have to have a big tournament if South Africa are to be successful. Kumar, you like to just score, what, mainly through the offside? Was that an area of preference?
Yeah, the offside was very productive for me, but as a batsman here, you got to have access to different parts of the ground, and it's so important that you rotate, strike. You can get carried away with thinking too often about boundaries. It's the little things that actually keep the score ticking over and allow you to have that base to launch and score big totals. A lot of the time.
That's the hero package of Faf du Plessis at his best today. From when he came to the crease, and some of the shots he played, he has been the talking point as hero Faf. End of the 29th.
ஹாபிக் சுத்தம் சுகம் தரும் வேலை திட்டத்துக்காக வந்திருக்கிறோம்.
ஓ சாரங்க நம்ப முடியல.
எங்க வேலை திட்டத்துக்கு நீங்க தயாரா?
எப்படின்னு நீங்க சொல்லுங்க.
டாய்லெட் சுத்தம் செய்ய நீங்க என்ன பாவிக்கிறீங்க?
ஆரம்பத்துல இருந்து டிடர்ஜென்ட் தான் பாவிக்கிறேன்.
துணியில் உள்ள கரையும் டாய்லெட் கரையும் ஒன்றல்ல. டிடர்ஜென்ட் போட்டு கழுவினாலும் கரை போகாது. அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம நாட்டுல நம்பர் 1 ஹாபிக் 10 on 10 இருக்கு. இது 10 விதமான கரைகளை முற்றாக நீக்கும்.
நீங்க சொன்னது சரிதான் சாரங்க.
எங்க வேலை திட்டத்துக்கு இவங்க தயார். நீங்க?
People have got to start. Markham, 15 deliveries. Amla was there for 61. Faf, impressive in his 69. Van der Dissen now, 20 from 20. That's what you want from the warm-up games. Adana was quite a find. I never heard much of him before. They toured South Africa, and he bowled nicely, got the ball to move around, and was quite successful. But it was his lower order batting that really impressed me. He was whacking it to all parts.
Yeah, he's a very handy cricketer. We first played him in a T20 World Cup in 2009 in England. He's very successful as a bowler. He had a beautiful change-up that confused a lot of batsmen. He had a few issues with no balls, with his action. He's never been able to swing the ball back in. Probably be able to see why better than I could, Sean, but he seems to fall away. His arms way over vertical, and he seems to have struggled with that. But over time, playing first-class cricket, playing in a few leagues around the world, he's managed to really understand what his strengths are, play to those strengths, and he's improved his batting. And you see that even in the English side over the last few years, why they have been successful is that they've been able to drag that batting order right down up to about number 10, 11. And when you have that cushion, it's really easy for sides to build on confidence and try and go really hard with their batting from ball one. For Sri Lanka, that low order batting is also going to be key.
You can see from his stats, it hasn't been overly impressive with the ball in hand, but he's got some potential. He's hovering around 125 to 130 kilometers per hour. And I feel that if him and Tisara Pereira get going, I think that's where Sri Lanka will have more balance. As you say, deeper batting lineup, plus guys contributing. His T20 career stats a bit more impressive. That's a good change-up. Mr. Sarapuri must be a little bit frustrating for the Sri Lankans, isn't he? Sometimes you see him come and perform and he bowls like an absolute legend, and the next day he'll come and just bowl some real, I don't want to be too harsh, but rubbish.
Yeah, he's never had a consistent action, this is Pereira. He's such an important player for us in that all-rounder role now that Angelo Matthews doesn't bowl, and for Sri Lanka it's going to be, you know, key as to how they manage him. You know, he's a match winner, but you can't expect Thrissur Pereira to win matches for Sri Lanka every time he goes out. If he does maybe win 2 on his own for an entire tournament, that's good enough. He's got the ability to come back with the ball if he fails with the bat. But it's also about player management, keeping him happy, keeping him focused and confident, and really identifying what his role is. And once you do that, I think you can get the best out of him. Captaincy and coaching these days is a lot about getting the best out of your players rather than just technical excellence. And it'll be a challenge for Sri Lanka to manage that through this tournament.
Good delivery to end the over. It's been a good over from Udana. 2 runs from it. Also saw the 200 for South Africa.
நான் முறையை கேர்ள் செய்வது எனது பர்சனாலிட்டி நன்கு வெளிப்படுவதனால். நான் ஸ்ட்ரைட் செய்து கொள்கிறேன், அது என்னுடைய விருப்பம் என்பதனால். முடியை பிரைட் செய்தால்தான் நான் அழகாக இருப்பதாக தோன்றுகிறது. நான் கலர் செய்வது எனக்கு தனித்துவமான தோற்றம் கிடைப்பதால்.
அது எனது சுயரூபம் என்பதனால் முடியை அவ்வாறே வைத்திருக்கிறேன்.
எனது கேசத்தின் மூலம் என்னை நான் பிரதிபலிக்கிறேன்.
நீங்கள் விரும்பியதை நீங்களும் செய்வதற்கு புதிய டாவ் இன்டென்ஸ் ரிப்பேர் கேசத்தில் ஊடுருவி போஷாக் கழித்து டேமேஜ் கேசத்தை ரிப்பேர் செய்கின்றது. அது உங்கள் கேசத்தின் மூலம் உங்களை பிரதிபலிப்பதனால். புதிய டாவ் இன்டென்ஸ் ரிப்பேர்.
Dhananjay De Silva is now going to be brought back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 5. Yeah, those all-rounders are vitally important if there's surfaces that aren't offering spin, because then they have to bowl a lot more of the overs. If they get pitches that stop and turn, that's when all your spinners and part-time spinners can come into play.
Turn is so important in a spinner's armory, and once you don't have that, you have to be deadly accurate and also be able to manage one side of the field. You can't be bowling to batsmen's strengths. You can't be bowling short as well. The pitches here aren't extra fast, and the bounce allows batsmen to really get on top of a bowler and put pressure back on a bowling side. There are opportunities for certain sides, even for South Africa, to maybe play 2 spinners in tandem, but they'll face the same problem in terms of being accurate, being able to manage the scoring rate, take wickets, balance it out with knowing when to defend.
Score predictor is going now up to 366 for South Africa. It was 350 early on in the day, and then Faf du Plessis hit a couple of boundaries in short succession. Gets away with that one, does De Silva. He's got Foreman in the ring on the offside. It was dragged down, opened up that offside. Van der Dussen couldn't get the placement right. There is that ring of field. Lovely angle to see it. And that's a beautiful paddle. The extra man on the offside has been reinforced by that man behind square on the leg side. Van der Dussen spotted it, got down early, premeditated, played it to a plumb.
The value of the sweeps, whether it's a paddle, a reverse, or a full-on square sweep, it allows you to maneuver the field and really confuse the bowler. If the captain has to move the short mid-wicket to a fine leg or a short fine leg, that's an easy single all the time, maybe even a 2, but now he's adjusted the field and the batsman goes again. Beautifully played, the bowler saw it, shortened it, but it's Van der Dussen. He looks a great player.
Yeah, he's got some real savvy about him. Cricket smarts, as they mentioned. It's the shortest boundary behind the wicketkeeper. He keeps peppering it. It's down nice and low. It's premeditated again, but it's no danger in it. No one in the vicinity to jump on anything that's mistimed.